Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I am super excited to talk to you all about portion control. Portion control has been something that I have dealt with for pretty much my whole life up until this past November. So I'm still only about like 4 months in of, confidently saying that I have mastered it. I feel confident. I eat until satiety. And now I'm here to share those tips and tricks with you. So if you like videos like this about holistic lifestyle, wellness tips, then please go ahead and subscribe to my channel. And yeah, let's get right into it. So just a little background. I recognized that my portion size was big for a while, but I finally addressed it and said, okay, this isn't something that I can keep continuing to do. This is not, healthy. This is not making me feel good. And I used to always think that portion size was just, oh, you just eat until you're full and there's nothing that you can do about it. And then I did more research and essentially figured out that that's not the case. You can actually alter it. You can basically fix it. I am so proud to say that I definitely do not eat as much. I feel like I have such a healthier relationship with food and I've actually lost 20 pounds. It's definitely not what one of my goals was, but I just feel lighter on my feet and I've been working out, so it's not like I worked out any more than I was before, but I think because I was eating so much, I wasn't able to keep off, some of the weight, that did prevent me from doing certain things, and I felt kind of sluggish after I would eat. So all of those things I've been able to thankfully leave behind. Now, before I get into it, just to give you a little bit of context and insight on how much I would eat, I was definitely someone where my friends, my own mom, my family definitely used to say that my stomach is a bottomless pit. It is like a vacuum. I could just keep going and going and going. I remember in high school, I would have like food competitions with some of my friends, my guy friends, and I would always out eat them. I definitely could eat like a full large pizza by myself and still be able to eat like chips and wings on the side. I was eating portions for about 3 adults in one sitting. My mom and I would actually kind of butt heads a little at home because she would cook food and, she would cook enough for it to last, 2 to 4 days. And I would eat so much that it actually would only last 1 day, maybe 1.5 days. So it was just getting a lot because, she's working, she has to cook food, and then I'm here just eating as if she has like 4 children and she has 1. Okay. So yeah, lots of things there. And I do want to disclaim, I was eating really healthy. I mean, my eating hasn't really changed. I mean, obviously I'm always learning how to eat more clean and how to be more mindful with my food, the ingredients and things like that. But in general, when I was eating a lot, especially these past few years, I was just eating super healthy food, but in portion sizes for like 2 or 3 people. So even though I was eating healthy, I was eating so much that my body wasn't able to digest. I was bloating. I would get, like digestive issues. I would feel so lethargic after eating. I would feel just so tired, and that's not normal. Food is supposed to energize you. It's not supposed to depress your body. So those are things that I recognize were not normal, especially since, of course, like so much of my social media is about health and wellness, that I follow so many people that are in health and wellness, whether they are doctors, pharmacists, or, lifestyle vloggers and influencers. I realized that every time I saw them eat, they were so energetic and so happy. And every time I would eat, I was always sleepy and tired. So one of the things that I started to do, and obviously it took some effort, and that was to start using smaller plates. I would use like a normal dinner size plate, but here in the States, our plates are huge, and I feel like inevitably you feel like you have to finish everything on your plate. I was also raised in a household where food waste is just like not a thing. We do not throw food away at all. So if I would put a lot of food on my plate, I would eat it all, and then I would take more, and then filling it up not to 100% capacity, but just enough where I looked at it and I'm like, okay, this looks like a healthy portion and I probably won't need seconds. Started doing that, and it was a little hard at first because, you know, I would want to just get up and get like a second serving really, really quickly. So the second thing that I started to do was to eat slower. This is something that was so hard for me, and oh gosh, I think this is what ended up taking the full year last year, essentially, when it came to making my portion size smaller, is I would scarf down my food as if I had never seen food before in my life. Like, I'm telling you, I am such a foodie. And when I say foodie, I'm not even talking about like chips and pizza and stuff like that. Like, I'm talking good, healthy, nutritious Indian food, Middle Eastern food, just really good food, but I like it and I want to eat a lot of it. So yes, having a smaller plate size definitely was a big deal. It wasn't helping because I was eating so fast, and then I would be like hungry and I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna get seconds. And then I'm like, no, I'm not gonna feel like I'm starving my body. And then I would get seconds and I would get thirds and I would get fourths. And I was like, okay, this is not helping. Being very conscious about how long you're taking to eat. I know in corporate America, they typically only give you a 30-minute lunch or an hour lunch. And in countries like France, they give you 2-hour lunches, and this is obviously a pretty big reason where I feel like a lot of people here in the States, including myself, like typically eat really, really fast because we always have like somewhere else to go or things to do. This might sound really weird to you, but I even became conscious of chewing my food. So I would actually like count, like I would literally put the food in my mouth and like count to 20 and be like, okay, I chewed my food, like that one bite I chewed 20 times. Because at least that ended up being like 15 to 20 seconds. You know what I mean? Instead of me just like putting it in my mouth and then just like swallowing it. So yeah, definitely using a smaller plate and then being very conscious of eating, not in a rushed way. And I think mind-body connection is something that a lot of us in the fitness world, you know about when you are working out a certain part of your body, like your glutes, for example, thinking about your glutes, sometimes even touching your glutes while you're working them out. It helps you activate them more, and it gives you like a more thorough rep, if you will. I kind of apply that same logic to my food, where I'm like, okay, if I'm gonna have dal chawal sabzi, then let me actually think about the dal chawal sabzi that I'm putting into my body. I'm about to have a spoonful of dal. Wow, this is packed with protein. It has haldi in it, and it's so yummy and delicious, and it's such comfort food. Okay, I'm about to have a bite of chawal or rice, and I need carbs because I just walked 2 hours and I'm about to work out later today, and this is going to give me fuel. I just had pindi ki sabzi or okra, and this is some good greens and a lot of nutrients, and every bite that I'm putting in my body is just flooding it with everything that it needs to thrive. But I think when we actually spend time with our food and we aren't on our phones, or even if we are watching TV, we're still semi-conscious of what we're eating. I feel like that really helps our body eat slower and be in the moment and fill up faster. Because if you're eating really, really fast, it's almost like your mouth is running at 2 times speed and your digestive system working at its normal speed. So by the time you're done eating, your digestive system is still digesting. It hasn't gotten full yet because it still has to digest the rest of the food. So you think that you're hungry and you need more, but in reality, you don't. You just were working way faster than your digestive system. I hope that makes sense. All right, the next thing that I want to say is eat nutrient-dense food. So one thing that I noticed is when I would eat food like pizza and potato chips, I would definitely eat a lot more of that than if I were to eat dal chawal sabzi. So when you're eating as a human, the reason that we eat is to get nutrients, vitamins and minerals and protein and carbs and healthy fats. And our body is trying to recognize, like, okay, Somya's putting this in her mouth. Let's grab the nutrients. Let's grab the minerals from that food. And then whatever we need to dispose of, we'll dispose of in a way that we are all familiar with. But if we're eating foods like chips, those are what I like to call empty calories. And you might have heard of this term before. And those are just calories that are empty. They have no nutritional benefit and they're not filling up your body. That's why it's so easy to eat 200 chips instead of eating 200 almonds. I get full off of like 7 almonds, to be honest, but I could eat a bag of like family-sized chips and no big deal because my body's not getting the nutrients that it needs. So it keeps telling my senses like I need to keep eating more so that they can get more nutrients, but in reality it's not going to get them. So definitely stick to nutrient dense foods. Don't fall for the false packaging of 50% fat, this is fat free, none of that. Look at the ingredients, make sure that you are fulfilling your protein, your carbs, your healthy fats, your nutrients, all your vitamins and minerals. Like eat fruit and eat vegetables, eat things that come from the earth, eat legumes and things like that. This is for all my people who love carbs and are noticing that they get full off of complex carbohydrates and then there's no space for like veggies. So I definitely fell culprit to this, and especially with Indian food, the base is always rice and then some sort of gravy and then a side of veggies, or we eat roti, which is bread, and then we eat that with dal or sabzi. So what I started doing is I started looking at the protein and the veggies as my mains and the rice as like kind of my add-on. So instead of putting my plate where I've added rice first, I would add the dal first, I would add the sabzi first, and then I would only have a little bit of space for like that much rice, like a little handful. Now granted, I obviously work out every single day. I'm very active, so I need my carbohydrates, but I also get my carbs in other ways. I eat roti, I eat a lot of vegetables. I did not have to have that much white rice twice a day. Okay, the last tip that I want to give you that really worked for me, and I've been doing this since March of last year up until now, so almost 1 full year, where I easily think I maybe have skipped 5 days in total, maybe 10, like 5 to 10 days in total in the past year, is to take a walk after your lunch. Take a walk. Sometimes I'll do this after my breakfast, but definitely after my lunch, ideally. And obviously nowadays I just take a walk whenever, but especially in the beginning, you want to take a walk right after you eat, because that'll motivate you to not overeat. Because if you overeat, then you're feeling sluggish, you might feel a little nauseated if you're trying to walk and you kind of want to lay down. So it'll actually motivate you to not stuff yourself and eat a good amount until you're, nicely satisfied and you're not feeling like you're overindulging. And then you take like a nice 30-minute walk, 1 hour walk, even just a 15-minute walk outside or on your treadmill on an easy pace. And I feel like it just helps me digest my food. It makes me feel so motivated to not like stuff my body, because then when I do take my walk, I get uncomfortable. Yeah, definitely taking a walk after your meals, I think, is something I learned from my grandfather. My grandfather, would take a walk every single day after lunch, and I, as a little girl, would always walk with him or ride my bike with him, and it was just like second nature. And then when he passed away and I would think about it, or I started talking to my other brown friends, a lot of our grandparents do that, and I think they do it out of habit, but then it's also very Ayurvedic. I'm sure that there's like a reason why you walk after you eat, and I'm pretty sure it's to prevent bloating and to help your digestive system, really optimize and be efficient. So that definitely helped me a lot. All right, my loves, that is all that I have for you today. I really hope that you take my tips and tricks. I still do all of these things, and I truly have seen and felt a difference, more than just seeing a difference in, my weight loss, which again wasn't even the goal. And one of the things that I have to wrap up this video with saying is, when you eat food, you're supposed to feel energized. You're not supposed to feel sleepy and lethargic. That is not normal. And the reason why you might be feeling it a lot is because maybe you're eating a lot of processed foods where all those chemicals and pesticides are just weighing your body down. Or maybe you're eating healthy food that is not, chemically processed and it's nutrient dense, but you're eating so much of them that you're exhausting your body. Your body is just trying to digest, and it's taking so much energy, and it's just overworked, and that's why you feel tired after you eat. So definitely listen to your body. Your body is your biggest indicator of what's working right and what isn't. That's what I wanted to share with you all today, and I hope that you have an amazing day. I hope that you take care of your health, and I hope that you encourage others around you to look after their health, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye everyone.